Hello friends, welcome to my channel MedVision. Today's video is based about the axillary artery, so let's get started. Axillary artery. Axillary artery is the continuation of the subclavian artery. It extends from the outer border of the first rib to the lower border of the teres major muscle. It continues forward as the brachial artery. The pectoralis minor muscle crosses the artery and divides the artery into three parts. Those three parts are: first part, which can also be called as the superior part or the proximal part to the pectoralis minor muscle; the second part, which is also called as the posterior part or the deep part to the pectoralis minor muscle; the third part, which is also called as the inferior part and the distal part to the pectoralis minor muscle. Now let us look at the diagram. This is the first rib. This is the humerus. This green color portion is the teres major muscle. This blue color muscle is the pectoralis minor muscle. From the outer border of the first rib to the lower border of the teres major muscle, this artery here is called as the axillary artery. Above this level, the artery is called as the subclavian artery, and below this level, the artery is called as the brachial artery. Now let us look at the relations of the axillary artery for each part. The first part, anterior relations to the first part: skin, superficial fascia, platysma, supraclavicular nerve, deep fascia, the clavicular head of the pectoralis major muscle, the clavipectoral fascia, which is pierced by the cephalic vein, the lateral pectoral nerve, and the thoracoacromial artery, the communication loop between the lateral and the medial pectoral nerve. This pink color area is the skin and the superficial fascia, below which we have the platysma. These yellow dots represents the supraclavicular nerve. This orange band of muscle is the clavicular head of the pectoralis major muscle. This green color is the clavipectoral fascia, which is pierced by the cephalic vein, the thoracoacromial artery, and the lateral pectoral nerve. To know more about the clavipectoral fascia, click on to the I button. The communication loop between the lateral pectoral nerve and the medial pectoral nerve. Lateral to the first part of the axillary artery, we have lateral and posterior cords of the brachial plexus. This is the posterior cord of the brachial plexus. This is the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. Posterior to the first part of the axillary artery. First intercostal space with external intercostal muscle, the medial cord of the brachial plexus with the medial pectoral nerve, the first and second digitation of the serratus anterior muscle with its nerve. This is the first and the second rib. So this is the first intercostal space where we also have external intercostal muscle. This orange color band represents the external intercostal muscle. These two are the first and the second digitation of the serratus anterior muscle. This is the nerve to the serratus anterior, which is also known as the long thoracic nerve. Medially, we have the axillary vein. This blue color is the axillary vein. Let us look at the 3D diagram to understand more in details. This is the first part of the axillary artery, lateral to which we have the lateral cord of brachial plexus. This is the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. Also, we have the posterior cord of the brachial plexus. This is the posterior cord of the brachial plexus. Posterior to the first part of the axillary artery, we have medial cord of the brachial plexus. This yellow strip here is the medial cord of the brachial plexus. The second part of the axillary artery. Anterior to the second part of the axillary artery, we have skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia, the pectoralis major muscle, the pectoralis minor muscle. This pink color area is the skin and the superficial fascia. This green color area is the deep fascia. This band of fibers of muscles is the pectoralis major muscle, below which we have the pectoralis minor muscle. Posterior to the second part of the axillary artery, we have posterior cord of the brachial plexus and the subscapularis muscle. This is the posterior cord of the brachial plexus, and this orange band of muscle is the subscapularis muscle. Lateral to the second part of the axillary artery, we have lateral cord of the brachial plexus, the Coracobrachialis muscle, and the short head of biceps brachii muscle. This is the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. This is the Coracobrachialis muscle, and this is the short head of biceps brachii muscle. Medially, we have the medial cord of the brachial plexus with its branch named the medial pectoral nerve and the axillary vein. This is the medial pectoral nerve. This is the medial cord of the brachial plexus, and this is the axillary vein. This is the second part of the axillary artery, lateral to which we have the lateral cord of the brachial plexus, posterior to which we have the posterior cord of the brachial plexus, medial to which we have the medial cord of the brachial plexus. Third part of the axillary artery. Anterior to the third part of the axillary artery, we have skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia, the pectoralis major muscle, the medial root of the median nerve. This pink color area represents the skin and the superficial fascia. This green color area represents the deep fascia. This orange band of muscle represents the pectoralis major muscle, and this nerve present here is the median root of the median nerve. Posterior to the third part of the axillary artery, we have radial nerve and axillary nerve in its upper part. Subscapularis muscle is also present in its upper part. In the lower part, we have latissimus dorsi muscle and the teres major muscle. This are the radial nerve and the axillary nerve, and this muscle is the subscapularis muscle, whereas here we have the latissimus dorsi and the teres major muscle. Lateral to the third part of the axillary artery, we have Coracobrachialis muscle, the musculocutaneous nerve, the lateral root of the median nerve, both in its upper part, and in the lower part we have the trunk of the median nerve. This is the Coracobrachialis muscle. This is the short head of biceps brachii muscle, and these both are the musculocutaneous nerve and the lateral root of the median nerve. This is the trunk of the median nerve. Medial to the third part of the axillary artery, we have axillary vein, the medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm, the ulnar nerve, and the medial cutaneous nerve of the arm. So these nerves are the medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm, medial cutaneous nerve of the arm, and the ulnar nerve. This blue color is the axillary vein. For the third part of the axillary artery, anteriorly we have the median root of the median nerve. This is the lateral root of median nerve which is present laterally, and this is the trunk of the median nerve which is also present laterally. In the posterior part, we have the radial nerve. This is the radial nerve. This is the axillary nerve. Whereas in the lateral side, we have the musculocutaneous nerve. This brown color represents the musculocutaneous nerve. These both are the medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm and the medial cutaneous nerve of the arm. And this green color area represents the ulnar nerve. All these nerves are present medially to the third part of the axillary artery. I hope you found this video helpful. Do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.